dovetail is a classic interlocking woodworking joint. Making dovetails is labor intensive, but here's an alternative. The inexpensive, simple to set up and use, Easy Pro Dovetail II Jig. You cut both mating halves of each board on the same jig. You don't need to add or change anything. It's all here. There's a built-in gauge for setting the rider bit height and for both depth of cut and the length of the dovetail pins. A dovetail router bit is supplied with pre-installed guide bushings. It's easy to set the bit height using the built-in gauge. The bit itself doesn't contact the gauge when cutting. Mounting your work pieces in the jig is super simple. You center the first board by eye and then all of the guides line up automatically. With the bit height set, you cut the tails first. Then unclamp the board, remove it from the jig, clean it up, and one half of your dovetail joint is complete. Now we're going to use the completed half to line up the mating board and cut the pins. Again, this is an easy one-step process that takes just seconds. It's clearly marked to show that you cut the pins on this side of the jig. You can also use a router table to make all of the same cuts with this jig. It's easy enough, but just remember that the router table being an inverted router, you invert the jig so that if you're cutting the pins, you want the face with the logo facing the equipment, the machinery. You'll be cutting this way. And when you're cutting the tails, it's just the opposite. You cut the tails on this side, so you want this down against the face, and you'll be cutting this way. It's a very versatile piece of equipment. When you use a router, just keep it level and let the guide bushings follow the jig. The big bit does all the work. The adjustment guide automatically sets the depth of the pins. Remove the second board and you're pretty much done. The mating pieces fit together perfectly, creating a strong, tight, professional quality dovetail joint. It's as easy as that.